Some little girls seem destined for greatness. Amber Wilde is one of them.
When I tell people, I say, if you could have had a half hour to talk to her, she'd have changed the way you looked at life.
Steve Wilde raised Amber and her little sister as a single dad.
What type of girl was she?
She was very, very conscientious. She would ask me if I paid the rent, and it was having a 13-year-old mother in the home.
That conscientious little girl grew into a young woman with big dreams.
What were Amber's dreams, aspirations, hopes for the future?
Her plans were to be a doctor and work with kids.
And Amber is well on her way as a junior at the University of Wisconsin, Green Bay.
Just always planned everything to the T, and she always found herself able to accomplish whatever she put her mind to.
Amber chronicled every detail of her journey in her diary, writing down daily activities, who she spoke to, and even her most private secrets. Just hours after one of her final entries into her diary, Amber is in a car crash while on her way to class.
She had rear-ended another car. She had made contact with that driver. They agreed to exchange names and speak later in the day.
There was minimal damage, but Amber did smack her head on the windshield.
She went and saw the medical staff at school. They told her that she most likely had a concussion and that someone should check in on her, whether it be in person or with phone calls.
Steve talks to his daughter throughout the day. Amber tells her dad she's got a blinding headache and asks him to call in the morning to make sure she wakes up for class.
When did you realize something was wrong?
When it went, 12 hours from my last conversation with her, I knew something wasn't right.
Steve says horrible thoughts start racing through his mind.
I had a key for her apartment, so I was able to go in there. There was nothing that had been going on in that apartment.
Nothing was amiss?
Nothing really jumped out and said, this is maybe what happened. Something might have pointed me in a direction where she was.
When the worried father notices Amber's car is missing, he immediately calls the Green Bay police.
It's not unheard of for a 19-year-old just to book town. Right?
No.
They just want to leave for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Why did you rule it out?
It was just totally out of character for her to go missing on her own. So there was a good concern early on that someone else most likely was responsible for her disappearance.
Then cops discover their first clue. Days after Amber was reported missing, her car was found here, across the street from where the Green Bay Packers play, Lambeau Field. But Amber is nowhere to be found.
What was unusual about her car?
Her car was found unlocked. Keys were in the car. Her purse was located in the trunk of the car, and her cell phone was actually located on the front seat of the car, still plugged in to the cigarette lighter.
And nobody saw who drove the vehicle outside this bar?
Correct.
Could Amber have amnesia from the concussion and simply wandered off? Possibly. But when Steve sees the inside of his daughter's car, he knows his little girl is in big trouble.
You noticed something strange about the driver's seat. Tell me about that.
Well, she had very short legs. The seat was all the way up against the steering wheel. Well, when we found the car, the seat was all the way back.
Her physical description is she was 5'2" at the time.
Correct.
So there's no way she would have the driver's seat all the way back.
No.
What did that indicate to you?
Could be one of two things. Someone's either did it intentionally to throw us off, or someone very tall was the last person to drive the car.
But it wasn't Amber.
Correct.
There's something else eating away at this worried dad. Just 2 days before Amber went missing, she had her car serviced, and they wrote down the mileage on her odometer. When Amber's car is found at Lambeau Field, Steve notices about 900 new unexplained miles.
We don't know how those miles got on there.
Police begin to suspect the absolute worst has happened to Amber.
Are you investigating Amber's disappearance as just a missing person or as a homicide?
No, we've pretty much ruled it a homicide. There is nothing that we can find or have been able to find that she went missing on her own.
Did Amber have any enemies? Anyone who would want to hurt her?
Not that I know of. She had a lot of friends. She had tons of friends. I think she probably liked everybody. Everybody liked her.
So who would want to hurt Amber? Then police get their biggest clue from the most unlikely person, Amber, in her own written words.
I like to think of it as that she's her own star witness.
Cops find her personal diary.
How crucial is Amber's diary?
It's very crucial. It paints a good picture of her life.
It's odd. You're almost like you're reading this diary and you're asking Amber posthumously to speak to you about her murder.
Yes. Speak to us from the grave, wherever that grave may be.
And there, in black and white, cops find 2 words that spell out a possible motive. I'm pregnant.
Who would have any motive to get rid of Amber?
The father of the baby, if he didn't want anything to do with it.
Amber Wilde is missing, and now there may be a motive. The key clue comes in Amber's own words, written in her secret diary. I'm pregnant.
I was the first one that she told that she was pregnant.
So you were Amber's confidant?
I think so, yeah.
Amber confides in her Aunt Lori Enart, then tells the rest of her family it's an accidental pregnancy, but she plans to keep the baby.
It surprised me, but, if it was going to happen to anybody, I felt would probably be the one person that could overcome this.
Amber continues her pre-med studies at the University of Wisconsin, Green Bay, and begins planning for the arrival of her bundle of joy.
She hadn't found out yet the gender of the baby, but if it was a girl, her name was going to be Alexandria.
Everybody was supportive. She really didn't have anybody that wasn't supportive.
Except possibly one person. The man Amber claims is her baby's daddy.
Did she ever tell you about Matt Schneider's reaction to the pregnancy?
Yes, she did. He was not happy.
Amber tells Lori the father is a burly, 6 foot, 5 inch tall, 21-year-old highway construction worker she met at a party named Matthew Schneider.
How did she feel by his response towards her?
Of course, she was upset with that, but she just wanted the baby to know his or her father and have him be a part of that child's life.
According to Lori, Amber tries relentlessly to get Schneider involved with her pregnancy, but he refuses. Lori claims Matthew even asks Amber to get rid of the baby.
He wanted her to have an abortion. He didn't want anything to do with it.
What was her reaction?
She told me she never would do that.
Green Bay police begin digging deeper into Amber's secret diary, and in her own words, she gives cops alarming insight into her final conversations with Schneider.
Basically was giving her ultimatums or threatening to either harm himself or that she'd never see the kid again, and he made these type of statements.
Would not wanting a baby be a motive for possibly murdering Amber? On its own, maybe not. But Schneider has other serious issues. Cops find out he's also got a fiancé?
So Matt Schneider was engaged to be married at the time he had this one-night stand with Amber.
That is correct.
I think the biggest thing was he didn't want Heidi, his fiance, to know because he didn't want that relationship to end.
Because he cheated on her.
Right,
Well, and he's engaged to another woman.
right.
Cops say in her diary, Amber makes it clear she wants Schneider to come clean with his fiancé about the baby. But when he refuses, Amber confronts Matt's fiancé face to face.
Amber told her.
Yes. She did tell Matt's fiance that she was pregnant with Matt's baby, and she also wrote a letter to Matt's mother.
According to Amber's diary, Schneider was livid.
Did Amber ever describe Matt's demeanor?
The only thing she had mentioned one time was that he was mean to her. And I said, what do you mean, mean? I said, does he hit you? Does he, And she said, no. She said, he always cutting me down, telling me I'm fat and telling him I'm, ugly or whatever. And I said, if he ever would do anything to hurt you, I said, you get away from him.
Green Bay police say, looking back at Amber's diary, they now believe she was leaving them clues.
It's her talking to us. It's her telling us, what was going on in her life and what she was doing.
So they hunt down Schneider to get his side of the story. And it's not at all what they expect to hear.
What did Matt Schneider tell you?
He denied to the initial detectives ever having a sexual relationship with Amber.
Flat out denies it.
Yeah,
So I'm guessing he denies that that was his kid, too.
yes.
Schneider tells investigators he met Amber at a local restaurant and barely knew her.
He told the detective that he probably maybe talked to her twice.
Schneider's fiance tells cops Amber had an almost fatal attraction to Matthew and was making it all up.
She states that Matt in no way had any sexual contact with Amber at all, and the fact that Amber was just infatuated with Matt and harassing him.
Could it be? Was Amber just a confused teenager, desperate for attention?
He says he flat out never had sex with Amber.
Pretty interesting, yeah. No, I don't believe that. I know that was who she was involved with, and that's who the father of the baby was.
And police believe that secret diary could hold the key to who's lying. The Green Bay police have not released Amber's diary as part of their ongoing investigation, but they did allow me to read selected passages as it pertained to Matthew Schneider. And I gotta tell you, it even made me blush. She was very graphic about their sexual relationship. It's clear this was not a one-night stand. In the diary, she even wrote about different sexual positions, and family members told us their relationship was hot and heavy for 4 months, then went ice cold when he found out Amber was pregnant. Crime Watch Daily has also confirmed a doctor performed an ultrasound and determined Amber was about 4.5 months along at the time of her disappearance.
In this case, who would have any motive to get rid of Amber?
The father of the baby. Once that baby was born, there would be the proof.
Still, Schneider maintains he did not have sex with Amber and the baby was not his. If that's true, and he only talked to Amber a couple of times, cops want to know how Schneider can explain this key piece of the mystery: his phone records. Matt and Amber had many more conversations than just two.
Between the time period they first met and the time period she went missing, from phone records and other statements, maybe around 60 times for sure.
60?
Yes.
60.
60.
If some woman was accusing me of fathering the child she's currently impregnated with, and I was like 100% sure that it wasn't mine, I'd be like, don't call me again, you loon. There wouldn't be more than 2 conversations.
Well, yes, there clearly was a back and forth going on. Documented very well through phone records and a diary that Amber kept.
Cops were able to cross-reference the dates and times with Amber's diary and phone records to determine the content of each call.
Most of the conversations, to our knowledge, were about Amber being pregnant. And then once she's missing, there was never phone contact since.
Police are now saying those phone records constitute evidence of first-degree intentional homicide.
Is he your main suspect?
He's a suspect.
What do you think happened to Amber Wilde?
I think she was killed. I think she was killed and her body was disposed of.
When 19-year-old Amber Wilde mysteriously went missing, Highway 29 that runs through the heart of Green Bay, Wisconsin, was under major construction.
Lots of holes created where one presumably could dump a body.
Sure.
The police and Amber's family think she and her unborn baby are buried somewhere under all that asphalt.
Why do you say that?
Because I know what a certain person was, where he was working at the time. He had access to that.
That person, Matthew Schneider, the alleged baby daddy, was building Highway 29 when Amber was last seen alive.
But the tragedy in Amber's disappearance is compounded because it's not just her, right?
Right.
Another life
Yeah. It's
that was
baby.
snuffed
Yeah.
out.
To this day, Schneider has denied any involvement with Amber, claiming he never had sex with her. In fact, Schneider says he barely even knew her.
We've pretty much been able to prove that that was a lie, that he did know Amber, he did have a sexual relationship with her, and Amber thought was the father of her child.
Police say Amber's phone records, combined with her secret diary, read like a roadmap for murder. And they say all roads lead straight back to Schneider.
Wanted nothing to do with the baby, and he wanted nobody to even know that he could even possibly have been the father of the child.
Motive? Cops believe Schneider was terrified his fiancée would find out about the affair and baby. So panicked, he got rid of Amber and the baby for good.
He didn't want the pregnancy. She was not willing to terminate it.
Crime Watch Daily has discovered newly unsealed court documents naming Matthew Schneider as a prime suspect in Amber's disappearance. Search warrants also reveal police have conducted multiple digs along Highway 29 and a massive search on the Schneider family farm, all in an effort to find Amber's body.
Did the search bear any fruit?
Did the search produce a smoking gun per se? No.
Police say Schneider has never offered an alibi for his whereabouts the day Amber went missing. He's declined a polygraph, and now he's refusing to speak to cops.
You're getting nothing.
Nothing.
Schneider's silence has devastated Amber's family.
As Amber's father, do you ever get to the point where you just want to see him in town?
I really never even had the urge to meet him. Just simply because of that, because I am a father, and you did something to my little girl. I couldn't have ever confronted him because I'm not sure what would have happened.
If you did have the opportunity to speak with Matt Schneider, what would you say to him?
Just where she is, so we can put her to rest.
We wanted to help Amber's family lay some of their misery to rest, so we set out to get some answers from Matthew Schneider.
Matt's in his vehicle right now.
We got a tip Schneider was on his way home, a home he now shares with the fiancée Amber once confronted, who's now his wife, and their kids. Then, suddenly, Schneider appears right in front of me.
Here we go. Matt Schneider, Jason Matera with Crime Watch Daily. We're investigating the disappearance of Amber Wilde. You remember her, right? She accused you of fathering her unborn child.
I have nothing to say.
The police you have nothing to say? Did you have sex with Amber? Are you the father of that unborn baby?
I'm a close graduate.
Yeah, are you trying to bury the truth? Why won't you take a polygraph or answer any basic questions from the cops?
Matthew Schneider may have closed the door.
Why did you lie to the police, Matt, and say you barely knew Amber, and yet you corresponded with her 60 times? 6-0. Were you trying to hide something, Matt?
But Amber Wilde's case remains wide open. The FBI is now on the hunt for answers.
Is the past coming back to haunt you?
For now, it's Amber's family that's haunted by the unknown.
We wonder where she would be in life now, if she would have continued with her education. Would she be a pediatrician like she wanted to be?
Her cousin Nicole often wonders about the little bundle of joy, who is now a part of their sorrow.
If it was a girl, her name was going to be Alexandria. So when I had my own baby, I named her Alexandra in memory of the baby that we never got to meet.
Now it's time for you at home to help police close this case. If you know anything about the day Amber disappeared or where she might be, you can send your tip anonymously to the Green Bay Area Tip Line. That number is 1-920-432-7867.